The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, Digital Tools for Low-Level Learners. Our instructor today is going to be Gabriela Moffatt. My name is Nicole Caban. I'm the Education and Training Coordinator for Florida Literacy Coalition. Before we get started, I'd like to show you a little bit of your webinar tools. So if you look at the panel on your right-hand side, you will see your control panel. I'd like to direct your attention to the arrow at the very top on the left-hand side, the red arrow, that is going to be your docking button. So if you'd like to put your control panel away, you can press that button and then press it again to pull it back out. Next, I'd like to show you the hand raise icon. That's going to be the little red hand icon on your control panel. If you press that, that's going to be raising your hand. So I can ask a question like, how many of you can hear me? Please raise your hand if you can hear me. And you would press that red hand button. So everyone just go ahead and press that button if you can hear me right now. Perfect. Okay, I see a lot of you are pressing it, so that's good. Next, I would like to show you the questions box. On your main control panel, you should see a box called questions. There you can type in any questions you have for the presenter or for myself. If you have any technical questions, you can type them in right there if you're having any issues, and I will do my best to resolve the issue via chat. The next thing I would like to point your attention to is on the main control panel is the handouts box. Now, if you'll look at your handouts right now, you'll see that there's something on there. It's going to be the presentation for today. There are a lot of resources in this presentation. So if you click that, you can download the presentation now and have all the resources available to you so you can follow along. You can also save this on your desktop to have these resources for a later date. Next, I'd like to kind of tell you about the polls. We'll be doing a couple of polls throughout the webinar today. It's going to ask you a question. It'll pop up on the screen, and you just choose the answer that best fits your position. All right, and with that, I would like to go ahead and introduce Gabriela Moffatt. Gabriela is a native of Ecuador. Her passion for teaching began in high school while teaching basic literacy to adults on Saturdays. Gabriela moved to the United States to complete a bachelor's degree in international business and finance. After that, she completed a master's in business administration information systems. She combined her passion for other cultures and languages and information systems with teaching when she began working at Orange Technical College as an ESOL instructor where she currently teaches. In addition to teaching, Gabriela has presented at both the Florida Literacy Conference and the ACE Conference on technology and ESOL teaching strategies. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and pass it over to Gabriela.
Thank you, Nicole. Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your Friday to learn strategies to better support our students. And I wanted to share that during the summer, right now I'm teaching currently 3 classes. I'm teaching a morning class, beginner level ESOL. I'm teaching an afternoon class, which is all levels, beginner and advanced. And then in the evening, I'm teaching beginner ESOL as well. So it's a really busy summer for me, but the classes will end next week. So we wanted to ask some questions about what you're currently teaching. Nicole, do you have the poll?
Okay, so I went ahead and pulled up the poll. So if you could you could choose which one best fits your level right now. And we'll give it about 20 seconds. Okay, it looks like most everyone has voted, so I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. and
Okay.
I will share it with everyone. And it appears that 63% are teaching beginner, 25% intermediate, and 13% are teaching advanced.
Okay, that's great. Most of the resources that I have for you are available for all levels, but definitely at the beginning, when you are taking a little bit more time with the students, it will help you just to walk them through the tools the way that I'm going to walk you through today. So thank you, Nicole. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's move on to my first slide. Okay, so the first slide that I have for you is staying in touch with students. I started using this slide the past school year, and my students really liked it. So the name of the website is remind.com. Basically, you create an account as a teacher. This is free of charge. And then you're going to create your classrooms. In the school year last year, I was teaching in the morning, in the afternoon, and also in the evening. So I had 3 different classes. So what I did was I added the students' names and their email, and then they would receive a text invitation to join the class. What is good about this website is that it is available as an app. So students that like working with apps would just download it for free. So I'm going to go to Google and show you the website. Okay, so this is remind.com. And on the top, you can see my name. On the top left, you can see all the classes below that I created. I have an ESL afternoon, I have a morning, and then a night class. Once you select the class, you have the option, as you can see on the right, you can email everyone, and you have a list of the students. But if you want to contact just one student, you would just select that student, and then you could send that student a message just individually. Also, the students can respond to you on this program. They don't need to have your personal information, your cell phone number, your email, or even call you. It's a really good way to stay in touch. So if you wanted to add students, you would go to the People tab, and then you would add right here at the top right, add students. And there you can see I just add the student name, and on the right, you can add their email address or phone number, and then they will receive this text message inviting them to join the class. So I'm going to go back here, and I just wanted to show you what I've sent the students. So if we looked at a vocabulary page that day, for example, this is something that we did in class, talked about the weather. So I just took a picture of it, and then I send it to everyone. That way they're able to review it on their own time. Also, if the student was absent, I send this to them, so they're able to still know what is happening in the class. And sometimes when the students are not going to be in class, they'll send me messages through this system. And also you can see the icon, like the student Valeska, she liked this message that I sent. Also, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but when we do listening practices or we talk about lessons that are available online, I would just send a link. So I would just go to, for example, Google. I would copy the link, and then I would go back to Remind, and I would do a control copy, control paste. For example, this, Control C, and then I would go to Remind, and then I paste that link, and then I'll send the students a message saying, try this, review this at home. We would have a quiz tomorrow. So it gives you the options on the right, as you can see, to upload a photo, a file, a Google Drive, or just a basic message. All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So that was Remind, and like I said, this is a really good way to stay in touch with students, and you can use it for homework, event, quiz reminders, or just to send links. All right, the next website that I have to share today is for an interactive game with students. I use this a lot in the classes as well, especially on Fridays or at the end of a lesson as a way to review. This website gives you the ability to create a free account. I have never created a game per se. I have gone in there and searched by topic, and then I have adjusted or made changes that I wanted to do with the particular class that I was doing it with. So once you make changes to a Kahoot, you can save it to your favorites, and then you would invite students to play this game with you, whether they're on a desktop or a laptop or their phone in the classroom. And also there is a feature where you can play the game in groups. The students would have one cell phone and 3 students would work together. So that is also an option. So let's go to Kahoot and look at this together. I'm going to close Remind. So this is my Kahoot. And like I said, I have never created a Kahoot. I just go in here and type. For example, I was talking about comparatives and superlatives with the students yesterday. So I would type comparatives and superlatives. So I'm going to pull that up. And it has different games that are already created for us. So I would click on a game. And the teacher view, you have the questions on the right. I can also click on the top right. It will show me the answers to the questions. That way it's always good to go in and make sure it's correct. I recommend doing that. And when the students answer these questions on their phone, they have the icons like the red triangle, you know, the diamond, the circle, the square. So that makes it fun for them. This is for a visual learning. This would be a lot of fun. And again, you're reviewing content that you've covered in the class. So let's say, let me see the ones that I already have. I'm going to show you my Kahoots, the ones that I found and I saved and I've used. One of the standards that I had to cover was the food pyramid, but we don't have that anymore, is my plate. So I found this Kahoot when I wanted to review, and this is for beginner students. So the questions are, you know, it's only 10 questions. You have the answers there, matched to the correct food group. And then let's say I wanted to play the game. You would click on the middle of the screen on the left side, it says play. So I would just click play. And then it's going to ask me, do you want to play player versus player? This is individual, or on the right, you can have the students play as a team. And what you see on that screen on that phone is what the students see. They don't see any words. They just see the colors and the shapes. Sometimes if a student's cell phone was not working properly, I would just have the laptops ready to go and it would be the same format. So the classic, I would just click on classic, and then the students would go on their phones, on the browser, they would go to kahoot.it. They would type this game pin, and then they would join the game. I don't think we have time to practice one today, but I just wanted to show you how it would work. Okay, so I'm just going to close here. And you could also, you know, try different ones and just practice with the students until they get comfortable. Once they use it once, the students would always ask me, teacher, can we review, can we use this game? Because it's a lot of fun for them. And you are, again, reviewing content. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. So that was the interactive game with students. Let's go to the next slide. And this is about the listening skill. You know, when I talk to students every day, I said, when you're learning English, you have to practice your listening, your speaking, your writing, your grammar, pronunciation. And most of the students struggle with listening. So The website that is up here, it's called lyricstraining.com. This is a good way for the students to listen to songs, and then they're also practicing their typing skills. So let's go to the website together. It's called Lyrics Training. So I know I pulled it up here somewhere. Let's see. All right, let's just type it in. Okay, so for this website, I've never created an account. And if the student was, the student would use this, for example, during the lab time, or maybe when they're at home, when they have some free time. They could do this from their phone. So I'm going to select a song here. It's going to ask me what level I am. So, which is really good because, like I said, we have beginners, intermediate, advanced learners. So it tells you what the game is. You're going to fill in 25 random words out of 246, for example, in a song. So let's go to play this game. So it's going to ask me if I want to create an account. I say no, maybe later. So you can see at the bottom, the lyrics of the song are there. You're going to be able to see the video, and then there is a fill in the blanks. So the students will be typing what they hear. So I'm going to hit play. Feel my way through the darkness. So there, my type there continues. Guided by beating heart. Okay. I don't know what that word is, so I'm going to type something different. I'm typing different letters. I'm not typing the word journey, and nothing happens. So when the student is not typing the correct word, it's just going to stop. And then the student is going to try and figure out what is that word. You have this arrow on the right-hand side. You can click, and it's going to tell you what the word is. It's going to put a little red dot underneath, and you can continue the practice. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. At the top, you can pause the game. You can resume play, restart, quit the game. It's also telling you at the top how many words you're getting right and how many fails. So you can see right here, it says hits, fails. And this is a really good way to learn not only vocabulary, because you're listening and then you're typing, but you're also learning a new word. So let's say the student says young. I don't know what that word is. They can go to the dictionary. That's another really good resource that I tell the students about. You can just pull up the MerriamWebster dictionary, and then they have a new word. They heard it. They didn't know how to type it, and then they can just find it on MerriamWebster. It's going to give you the definition. It's going to tell you what's the part of grammar, and then it also has a pronunciation for you.
Young.
Okay, so the students are able to, with this website, they're learning the listening portion of it, the typing, the vocabulary. So it's a good tool. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. All right, the website below that is a different activity that I do with the students as a classroom activity. So the lyrics training can be used for the students in the computer lab or at home. Now, the activity below is printing out a worksheet with songs and then going to YouTube and playing the song for the students and have them listen to it as a group and then fill in the blanks. So I'm going to go to this website. It's called BC Teacher Classroom Activities Listening. So this is the website right here, bcteacher.org. So usually on Fridays, I will do this activity. The students like it. So you have a worksheet, you have the lyrics. Some of the words are blank. And I will print this out for the students, and then I will go to YouTube, and then I will type that song. So it was Shawn Mendes, Stitches, lyrics. So the students, I will play this. The students are listening.
Get your crew together. A new season of Power is coming this summer only on Stars.
Go back to the worksheet.
I thought that I've been hurt before.
Okay, so
But no.
I'm not showing the students the lyrics on YouTube. I'm just playing this for them, and then they have this in front of them, and then they start listening to the song. If it's a beginner level class, I would play the same, the same verse several times, as many as they need to. But this is really good to practice their listening skills, and this is a group activity. The students are together, and then they're talking to each other, trying to figure out what the song is. Once, and I usually stop and I say, okay, we'll listen to this. What do you think the word is? And then we discuss the vocabulary. And then we move on through the worksheet and like that. But then at the end, I do play the entire song with the lyrics on my smartboard so that the students can see it. And then they start singing the song and they're practicing their pronunciation. I've had students that I've shown them one song at the beginning of summer, and now I'm on the 3rd week of teaching summer, and that student yesterday, she's like, teacher, I listen to that song every day. I played for my daughter at home. This student is from Saudi Arabia. She's a mother. So this really helps the students, and I tell them, you have to think in English. You have to do your music and your movies in English at home. So this is a good way to get them interested in doing it that way. Okay, so that was the listening portion. I'm going to move on to the next slide. So now let's talk about grammar. This website I use every week. It's called inkvid.com. Any grammar topic can be found on this website. You're going to select the English level. You can sort it by topics, and you have several English teachers that will explain a lesson for you. You're able to pause the video and you can watch it as many times as needed. I tell the students, if there is something that we discuss in the classroom and you feel like you want to review it or you want to hear it from a different perspective, go to this website. So if you go to all lessons, again, I've never created an account here. On the left side, it gives you the level. So beginner, intermediate, advanced. So you can sort it that way. You can also sort it by topics. And then you have all the teachers that have recorded videos here. So for example, a basic grammar for a beginner student. If I just say basic grammar, okay, it's going to show me. I like this video, I use it a lot. Parts of speech. This video covers the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, pronouns. So I'm going to click on it. And then here's the teacher.
Hi, James from England. I would like to talk about something that will help you understand English. And it's two things. Number one are parts of speech. What are the parts of speech?
One thing that I wanted to share with you is if you go to settings, this adds, you can go to annotations and slide it to the left, and those annotations and advertisements won't pop up anymore. So,
And how do you use them?
So here we have a teacher, he's explaining the basic grammar. He has a chart behind him, he's writing it down. The students can go through this, as many times as they need. and they can take notes, they can review. I also like the fact that you have several different teachers, so the way that they speak is, you know, a little bit different. We all have a different tone. So here's another teacher. She's funny.
Greetings to you. I'm going to teach you very, very important, but very basic.
See, there's also a translation there. I can see that that's Portuguese, so you can translate this underneath, but I usually like the English subtitles. Those are best, so the students can also, if they're not understanding, they can just read below with the caption. Okay, so like I said, this website I use mostly for grammar. Whenever I'm trying to teach, for example, verbs, pronunciation, adjectives, anything that has to do with grammar, you have all the topics and you have all these teachers with different, you know, styles that the students can go through. And when I take the students to the computer lab, I will recommend that they go here. Also, I have just sent a link saying this video, superlatives is important. So I do a Control-C and I go to my Remind and I send the students the link so that they receive it on their cell phone and they are able to pull this up when they're home and just review the content as well. What's good about this is that they can see it on the computer, in the school, at home, on their phone. So there we go. We're connecting these digital tools and they work very well together. All right, so let's see. I'm going to close out of inkvid.com. Go back to the PowerPoint. The next website is FluentLand. And this website is good for several skills: listening, reading, and typing. So let's go to fluentland.com right here. So at the top, you have a blog, you have speaking, vocabulary, grammar, business. So if we go to speaking, there are speaking lessons. And you have these visual guides. I like these a lot. I use them a lot. You know, for a student that is more visually trying to understand, for example, this visual for prepositions, students get confused with prepositions: in, on, at. When am I supposed to use this? This guide is giving them examples of how to do it. And I can save this, I print it out, or I can just email them the link on Remind. And they can just go here. There's also practice. Let's go to listening practice. There is a song portion here as well. So it's not lyrics training, but it's a different style. You can do vocabulary practice. Let's look at vocabulary practice for a moment. Okay, it's almost like a test. You can go through. It has different topics. Listening practice, beginner, intermediate. You can practice with songs. And this is a different style, but let's look at beginner, intermediate for a moment. Okay, so you have some conversations. And it's sorted by level, which is really good. It helps the students navigate through this easier. Okay, then we have pronunciation, which is a big one, and it's divided by levels. There are also games: learn English with songs, vocabulary games, grammar games, find the mistakes. Let's look at a vocabulary game. Body vocabulary game. Okay, so here you select the level. You want it fast, slow, so I'm going to do slow. beginner level.
Leg.
Okay, so this is a visual quiz, which I love this for my beginner students. They'll select, get a score,
Hand.
go to the next one. This is a really good way to review vocabulary.
Ears.
Okay. All right. And there are so many other choices here. Commonly confused words. I love that. I always talk to the students about that. Yesterday, we were doing a lesson where students said English is a crazy language because a word can have different meanings, and also a vowel can have so many different sounds. So the students get confused, but some of these right here are a really good way for them to debunk the myth, or if they're confused about something, they can look at this. And for this, also the grammar guides. This is a grammar guide. It's telling you each, every, either, neither. The students that love grammar, they want a clarification, they want explanation, they want more practice. This is a good place for them to go and take a look and find, different ways of explaining something. All right, so that was FluentLand. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. The next website is ESL Buzz, and it's very similar to FluentLand. It has the grammar guides, it explains the rules, and it's in a visual format, which I really like. So this is the website, ESL Buzz. You have the search button at the top right. So if there's something that you're interested in, you just click on there and type it. And then these are the grammar guides. So let's take a look at one. Parts of the body. You have feelings and emotions. This is really good when the students are trying to learn their vocabulary. You have the adjectives here, the definition, but then you also have the visual. So you can reach the learners that enjoy reading, and that's how they learn best. They want to write the definition. But there are other students that just by showing them a picture, that helps them remember. And you can print this out. You can send them the link for it. And it's just a very good resource. I like this. Let's see. You have some trending guides. So trending, what's really popular today, you can just go in there and see what people are looking at the most. I think my computer is a little slow right now because I don't see anything. Let's see. Let me refresh this. No. Let me go back. Popular. Let's go to another section, see if that comes. Okay. So there's more guides here, and I really like this. This is about the tenses, verbs. Students get confused with verbs, but anything that you were interested in, you can just type up here and do a search. I always like to look though to see what is new and what new guides are available, and see how I can fit that into the classroom. Look at this with adverbs. So it explains how adverbs work, and it gives you examples of it. Adjectives. Oh, look, I like the way this is, the colors, and how it's almost like a graphic organizer. Homonyms. Oh, this is really good. Well, commonly confused words. Look at that. You are, your, it is, it's. This is really good. I like sharing this with the students, and it's another way to just show content in a fun way. So that is ESL Buzz. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, the next website is ESL Fast. It has grammar guides, it has games. Let's take a look. Okay, so the format for this website is different. I can, just by looking at this website, I can tell that it's been around for a while. It doesn't have as many graphics, but it's still really good. It's a goodie, you know, it's an oldie but a goodie. So for beginner students, it has it sorted that way. You have English levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, easy. You have intermediate learners. It has essays, American culture and customs, for, you know, English for immigrants, young couples life. So let's just pull something up from the beginner level. So easy conversations. This is a student that is just starting class, so they can go here. And you have all these stories. So this is good for the reading skills. So I live in Pasadena, or I have a Honda. Okay, I have a Honda. So this is a conversation style. Sometimes I print these and then I have the students practice conversation in the class. But students could also use this at home, or they could use it in the computer lab. So up here, you have a recording of this, so they can listen to it. Let's hit play.
Do you have a car?
Yes, I do.
What kind of car do you have?
Okay, so the students are practicing their reading skills, they're listening to it, and once you have them practices in the classroom, they're practicing their pronunciation. So this is really good. The conversation practices are excellent. And look at how many choices you have. We're just in the beginner section, and look at how much is available. So many different topics. I like to tie this to the standards, you know, depending on what we're covering, health, employment. Let's go down here and look at the bit more advanced housing, voting, you know, for the civics. You could go to voting, getting reelected, and the same thing. This is a little bit more advanced, but you have the conversation and you can listen to it.
I can't believe he won the election.
All right, and the students will also learn vocabulary with this, because odds are some of these words so this will be the first time they're seeing them. So at the beginner level, you can listen to it and you can read it. But if we go to a little bit more advanced, if we go down here, English level 1, there is more. There is more activity available for them to do. So English level 1, a doctor. Okay, let's talk about the health topic. So here is, it's almost like a small story. You have the listening portion, and then at the bottom, you have 4 more exercises. You have vocabulary, you have a closed exercise, sentences and dictation. So vocabulary, look, it's sorting it out for you. I can go to my closed exercise to review the content. Okay, I'm going to type in the word that I think goes there. I can have it checked. I can ask for a hint. Okay. So in one exercise, which was first reading and listening, now you also have the review down here. It's done for you. Sentences. So this is putting the sentence in order. And then you have dictation. I do dictation with the students on a weekly basis because it helps them as well with listening and writing. So this is ESL Fast, and like I said, this is very good for reading comprehension with those closed exercises, and also you can print the conversations out and have them do conversation practice in the classroom. I have microphones for my students, and they really enjoy doing that. You know, they take turns. And you have the intermediate learners. You have, you know, probably a bit more difficult down here, but you have essays, the holidays. That's a standard that I cover during the school year. So, okay, so that is ESL Fast. Oh, we did that already. I'm going to close that. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. The next website is English in Vancouver. This is almost like a software that the students can use to learn English. You know, at Orange Technical College, we use Rosetta Stone, we use Burlington English, and we use English discoveries. But if that was not available to you, you could go to English in Vancouver, and it's almost using a standalone website to learn English. It has content, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar. It covers everything. So let's go to content. You have some videos. All of these lessons, let's see, click on one. Let's view contractions. No, this is not. Oops, I closed it. Sorry. All right, let's go back in here. All right, so it's broken down by topics, like you can see here: family, health, small talk requests, community, telephone, shopping, work, transportation, children's schools. So you have a lot of different topics here. Let's go to food. So it has a video, and down here it has a vocabulary, and then it has click and drop. You can select the word and do some comprehension practice. And then down here, it gives you the option of checking, or you can hit clear, so you can try to do the exercise again. So again, the student is practicing their listening, and then they're doing comprehension exercise as well. And there are more videos on the right. You see there are some Mr. Bean videos. Those are probably funny. And you can send this link to the students as well. Let's look at grammar. I think this is a different website. Let's go to vocabulary. Okay, so I like this. Let's take a look. The bedroom. This would be for a beginner student. Launch audio.
The bedroom. Bedspread.
So the student is just hovering over the picture, and then they'll hear the word.
Bunk bed. Chest. Mattress. Drawer. Chest of drawers. Dresser.
You know, I really like this. You know, you could have a visual English dictionary in the classroom, but to be able to do this online with the students, you're also teaching them the computer skills while they're learning the vocabulary.
Dresser. Chest of drawers.
Oh, there's a listening challenge. Drawer. Now this is a game. It's saying drawer, so I have to like click on it.
Sheet.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so it's almost like a review practice as well. So that is English in Vancouver. Okay. I'm going to close this. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Where is it? Okay, there. Okay, now let's talk about current events. During the school year, the Orlando Sentinel Company has a department that gives free online newspaper memberships for students. But for example, right now in summer, that is not available. That is only from August to May. When I presented at the Florida Literacy Conference, I share that. But for example, right now, you would not be able to do that. You have to wait till August to send that request in to get online membership for the local newspaper. But instead of that, for current events, I put into websites here, News and Levels and newsela.com. So let's take a look at News and Levels. Okay, so this is really good because the students can find out what's going on in the world, and they can see current events, and they can also adjust based on their beginner, intermediate, or advanced level. So you have these articles. The FIFA, the World Cup is going on right now. So let's take a look here. Iceland at FIFA. It gives you a date on when this article was posted. The date is backwards, but that's okay. We know it's June. So here's the article, level 1. Level 2, a little bit more difficult words. Level 3. More challenging words. And look, you also have a listening portion of it to go along with it.
Iceland's population is around 350 nation ever for the national team.
So this is good for current events. The other website that I like is Newsela. I actually did create an account in Newsela, which is a free account. So every time the students had computers, I would assign an article to the entire class, and then they could pull it up. The students did create a free account as well, so they would have that. So news. Okay, this is the new movie. You'll see the latest news. It's divided by topic: art, science, money. Okay, that fundraiser for the immigrant separated families is here. That's a hot topic right now. So this is very up to date. Mexico's doing well in the World Cup this year, so it's talking about that. They beat Germany. So I always tell the students, find something that you're interested in and then go here and read that article. Okay, at the top right where it says 950L, that is the level. So if this is too difficult, okay, scroll down, look at all these words. Oh, teacher, it's too difficult. The students, it says text level 6. Just click here, and the hardest level is max, and the easiest level is 580 level. So that's level 3, like a 3rd grade level. And then, you know, it's using easier words, and it makes the article a little bit smaller. Once the students read this, at the bottom you have a comprehension vocabulary as well. I guess it's not here because I haven't assigned it, but you can just click on open activities. So you have the quiz and you have 4 questions. So you can, you know, this is a good way to do some review and just comprehension. Okay. So I do recommend creating an account because you are able to assign the articles to the students. And then once they answer those comprehension questions, you can see if they did it. So it's good for monitoring progress. Let me see if I can show you where I have assigned the articles. Okay, I go to Binder. And then Gabriela Moffatt's Readers. I think it has probably deleted this since I haven't used it lately. But you would basically find an article that you would like, and then it would give you the option as a teacher to assign the article. Let's see. You have a share button here. So you could share it in all these different ways. There is Remind. Look, I love that. So again, this is the way that you can use these digital tools together. You can use Newsela and then Remind together, or just email or do a Google Classroom share. Okay, so that is Newsela. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. So for current events, there you have those 2 websites. And let's go to the next website. The website is, this is a new website. I found that this week and I really liked it, so I thought I would add it. Pictures and vocabulary is user-friendly. You can save it to the computer. Let's go and find this online. 7esl.com. Okay. And also, constantly we're getting new websites, new resources. The resources that I was using a year ago are probably not the same ones that I'm using today, because there's always new stuff out there. So it's always good to just try and stay up to date. These are more visual guides, which I like. Learn 300 plus common verbs in English, firefighting, rescue vocabulary, human life cycle. This has everything. And again, it has the visual portion of it, which is great for beginners. So let's look at the common verbs in English. That is probably a big guide, but look, you have the verbs, you have the picture. You can right click and save this. You can print it out. You can, send it to the students on Remind. There's also a video for this.
Action verbs. Mix. Whip.
Okay, so you have the video, but you also have that visual guide. So it depends on what you want to do. You can work with a visual or the video for listening. So you have vocabulary, you have grammar, you have expressions. Idioms are a big one. So let's take a look at the idioms together. You have idioms about drinking, about music, about building, about conflict. Students are always interested in learning the idioms because, a lot of times they cannot understand what someone is saying. Even if they know the vocabulary, they would never be able to understand an idiom. So this is a great resource for that. You have the guides here for that. Add fuel to the fire. They would never know that. So I like to cover idioms with them every week, at least learn 2 or 3. So, and it has a breakdown here, if you want to be more organized about it, idioms about conflict, daily routines, social life, gambling idioms. And then you have more explanation down here, the meanings, examples. Okay. All right, so that was 7 ESL. And this was English in Vancouver. We already used that. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. And then the other website down here is MerriamWebster, which is the one that we talked about earlier. This is a dictionary, and this is a resource that the students should be using at all times. In combination with any of those other websites, if they want to know the definition or check the pronunciation of a word, just go to MerriamWebster.com and then, find the definition or even a thesaurus, for the word that they're looking for. So I put that down there. All right. So would this be a good time to take some questions? Oh, I have a miscellaneous section here, which I thought we could discuss. Let's talk about the web browsers. There are different web browsers. I never use Internet Explorer. Google Chrome is very good, but there are other web browsers out there, such as Mozilla Firefox. That's very efficient, doesn't have too many ads. And there's also DuckDuckGo. So there are different web browsers that the students have available to them. On your iPhone, I believe the web browser is Safari, okay? So how to find a job online. So if a beginner student wanted to look at what are the jobs available in the community, you can go to monster.com. That's a good website to find jobs. if you were doing a unit on jobs, you can ask the student to just find a job that they may be interested in, maybe chef, sous chef in Orlando. You know, having the students go through this exercises and practicing the job searches is really good. At Orange Technical College, we have job fairs, and I always try to prepare the students just by looking at the job descriptions, you know, and this is really good. It has the job descriptions, the salary, the highlights. It gives you the zip code, details, gives you the functions. So look at all these jobs, Publix, Universal. So Monster is a good website. Also, I believe My Florida has jobs too. Let's see. State of Florida jobs. So jobs.myflorida.com. It's a good website for jobs in Florida. Okay. You have career opportunities down here. You can search by location. Let's look in Orlando, 135 jobs. It's drilling down a little bit more. Let's see. One job here, maintenance mechanic, 17 jobs over here, environmental specialist, nurse, nutritionist, health support. So this is a good website just to practice doing a job search. That is something that all of the students should be able to do. So this would be really good to incorporate into a lesson, doing a job search as an activity. Okay, let's go back to PowerPoint. Driving directions. Okay, everyone has the app on their phone, but if they just wanted to do a search, teach a student how to find driving directions, go to mapquest.com. I like to pull this up on my smart board just to tell the students, you know, we're at school, we're going to the library on a field trip. So I'm going to type in my work location. All right, that's where I work. I have 2 work locations. So I work in Winter Park, and then in the evening, I go to our Avalon campus. So this is Orange Technical College in Winter Park, and I'm going to ask for driving directions. I want to type I wanted to type 2 addresses. It's not letting me, but let's see, this one right here. Okay, this has a lot of details, which is good for the students too. Oh, let me go back. It's also good to find places, get directions. Okay, there you go. So where am I starting? I'm starting at Webster. That's where I work during the day. And at night, I go to Avalon, so Crown Hill Boulevard. So having the students just go through this and say, pull up MapQuest and do a basic search. This is good just for the students to have an understanding, you know, just where are we located? So right here, I'm getting the directions. It's giving you 3 different routes. It's telling you how many miles, how much it's going to cost with fuel, what the traffic is like. And this is a lot of vocabulary. This would be a really good just lesson for the students just to do this exercise. So right here, that's where I work during the day, and right over here is where I work in the evening and in the summer. So there you go. There's a MapQuest exercise. There's also Google. Google also has a website for driving directions, but I don't use it as much. It would be your preference. Okay, paying bills online. So that is something that the students should learn how to do. So let's say the student has a Cricut account. They want to pay their cell phone bill. So I'm going to say Cricut, pay bill. Okay, they just go ways to pay your bill. They say, teacher, I don't have an account. No problem, quick pay. And it's just asking you for a phone number, credit card information, and then you can pay your bill. So, you know, again, this is helpful for the students just to know what is available and how they can optimize all the things that they have to do, such as paying bills, making payments. And you can probably do this with utilities, with the water, the electric, or cable bill. So paying the bills is also another tool that they should learn. And then the next one is how to find my child's school calendar online. We have a lot of parents. So my son goes to Winter Park High School. So I just type Winter Park High School calendar 2018. Let's see what comes up. So this is just a Google search. It takes you to the school website. And then it is always good for the parents and the students to know, okay, my son goes to this school. How do I volunteer? And here you have all the information. So where would the calendar be? Under school information, you have the bell schedule, you have directions. I'm trying to find a calendar. There is the auditions volunteer. Every school website has a volunteer link, and a lot of times, you know, parents want to volunteer at the students at their children's school, and they don't know how to. And this is a place where they should get started. I'm trying to find the calendar. Did I type school calendar? Yeah, school calendar. All right, so I just typed calendar and then it brings that up. There's another format for it, but I guess this is fine for now. So we ended the school year. It tells you Memorial Day, graduation, end of the marking period. So that is, you know, just going on Google and type in the child's school and then just navigating from there. That's also a very good activity for the students to do if they have children. Okay, so I think we have a few minutes. Do we want to take some questions, Nicole?
Let me check quick. I don't think we have any questions right now.
Okay, all right, perfect. So let's go back and, oh, all right. There is a couple of things that I want to share with you. The first one is for math skills. You know, once our ESOL students graduate from the program, they usually, some of them want to get their GED, and the Florida Literacy Coalition has come up with there's a new tool. The name of the tool is Math Video Resources. So this is a playlist of a lot of videos that are math oriented, and they would prepare a student that's going to take a GED test for the test. So it has 200 ad-free videos, and let's take a look here. I received this email from the Florida Literacy Coalition, so probably everyone else did, but you can see the link up here, floridaliteracy.org/math videos. So let's take a look. And this is some videos developed by Khan
Welcome to
Academy.
Florida Literacy Coalition's GED Math video page. We developed this free online resource as a study aid for students who are preparing for the GED. As many of you have already discovered, there are many math videos on YouTube, so sometimes it can be difficult and a bit overwhelming finding good quality videos on the subjects that you need. This website tries to help you with that. By identifying
something that's also interesting to consider, you know, our frameworks are changing a little bit going forward, and we will have to add more of the literacy, math, computer skills into our ESOL frameworks. So, you know, basic math is something important. So perhaps even as an ESOL instructor for advanced students, this is a resource that you can use with those students. And again, for any GED instructors, this is very good. This is a free service. And again, there are over 200 videos on this playlist. It's 3 hours long. So that is one more resource that I wanted to share with you. And then another interesting event that I wanted to share was there is a competition about creating an app that can help people and teach people develop literacy skills. One of the statistics says that more than 36 million adults in the United States lack basic English literacy, and only 5% of them have access to educational services. So to have an app that can help students and can reach that population as far as improving their literacy skills is really, you know, it's something that they are working on. And there was a competition on this topic, and they have 5 finalists that came up with some apps to teach literacy. So I believe those will be launched, and you know, students and instructors will be able to use them. And let me see right here if I can. This is the Barbara Bush Foundation Award. So I'm really curious about using apps. You know, like I said, Remind is an app. Also, what I like to use, which I don't use as an app, but it's just Facebook. There are a lot of resources also here on Facebook. If you like the English websites, they will do updates and posts right here for that. So I'm trying to find English because I have liked some Learn English Through Pictures. So for example, if you go on Facebook, those same websites that I was sharing with you, if you like them on Facebook, so some of them are Learn English Through Pictures, Learn English Vocabulary. So if you like these websites, on your news feed on Facebook, you will get updates when you have these wonderful guides, phrasal verbs. They will just pop up, and then you'll have new ideas on things to do with your class. So again, you would just go and type, Learn English, and then just like those websites. Learn English through funny news, with pictures, through movies, through stories. You have different choices. So that is something for the Facebook users. Again, I don't use Facebook as an app, but it is an app. So just one more tool for you. All right, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, well, I think if there are any questions, we have about for a few minutes, but this is what I was telling you earlier about the competition. And there is that article that I recommend to you read, communitiesxprize.org press release, and about the finalists. So if you want to do a little bit of reading, you have this really interesting article on what is happening with the apps and literacy skills.
I wanted to make mention of a few things here, Gabriela. David Rosen is here with us today, and he wanted to mention that the X Prize competition, it ends tomorrow. There's 8 semifinalists. On Saturday, they'll announce the finalists, and that begins the communities competition. The apps are all for beginning level adult learners. Also, the communities competition is for cities, towns, counties, states, national organizations, programs, and other communities. This competition is to see how many users of the finalist apps the community can get. There are big dollar prizes for the winning communities. Perhaps one of the competing communities could be in the state of Florida. So I definitely encourage everyone to go to this website, and I'll go ahead and put it in the chat before we close today so you can take a look at it and see more information here.
Wonderful.
I also, Gabriela, wanted to make one quick correction with the GED math videos webpage. It's not actually 3 hours long. There's 200 videos, and they're all about 3 minutes each. I know we don't necessarily have time to look through the videos right now because we're pretty much done, but if you want to go to floridaliteracy.org/math videos, you could take a look at some of the videos we have available, and I encourage you to take a quick look at some of our math videos there, and it could be a great teaching tool as well.
Wonderful.
That's it for me.
Okay, well, if anyone has any questions, we have a couple of minutes left. On the PowerPoint, you know, all the links are here for you, but also my email address is here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm always happy to share technology tools or any strategies, and if you have any that you want to share with me, that would be great too. Any questions? Everyone is good?
I think we do have one question here from Kim. It's, what is the best way to teach questions?
How to create a question? Like we're teaching the students how to create a question?
Kim, if you're still here, if you could type in the questions box, maybe a little more specificity to your question. I do have another question here from Thomas Coven. Does Ingvid or Lyrics Training have any help files? He's finding that some of the free websites have no real instructions on them.
Yeah, it's one of those intuitive, probably way to learn. I recommend just to spend a little bit of time, play with it, during planning time over the weekend. And then I recommend doing a demonstration on the smartboard because you don't need to create an account. Basically, you go to the website, you choose the level, and then you go. But I would probably maybe you could also create a basic guide that says, okay, go to Lyrics Training, click on the song, select a game mode. It would probably be maybe 5 prompts, and then explain to the students. I'd rather do it on the smartboard. I will just pull this up and then show the students how it works. And then say you click start the game, you will listen. But as far as help goes, let me see if there's anything up here. You have genres, which I didn't talk about that, but everyone has their favorite genre, so you can select that. Search language, it has different languages. Well, we want to focus on English for that. Perhaps if you log in, there will be a help tool there, but I have never created an account. I just have the students just go in and start working on it. But I would be happy to type maybe just a basic 7-sentence instructions, Thomas, if that would help you. I would be happy to do that.
All right, so Kim clarified her question a little bit, and she said yes, she wants to know the best way to teach formulating questions.
Okay, so the same websites that have the guides, they have there's probably a guide of how to create the questions, and I would just start very basic with, you know, what, when, how, who, which, and I would create a visual with that. Although I'm sure that visual is already out there, I can pull it up and then I can email it to, who was it that was asking for it? If you send me her email, I'll be happy to pull it up and email it to her. Because I'm sure as we were looking through the visual guides, there's one to formulate questions.
I will send you her email address, yes.
And my email is here. So again, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you too.
I think that's it for questions.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time. And I hope that you learned some helpful tools for you and for your students. And I hope you enjoy the rest of summer.
Thank you all for joining us. I do want to mention also that there is a survey at the end. So if you could please just take the survey that pops up at the end of the webinar. It's very helpful to us. We use your feedback to help inform our future webinars, the length, content, everything. So please remember to do the survey. I also wanted to quickly thank the the Florida Department of Education. They help make sure that this is possible for us to do these webinars for you guys. Thank you all, and everyone have a great weekend and a fantastic summer.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.